Hello and welcome back to On the Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode, which is going to be the final episode of this season of On the Rocks. Today, we should be winning the league title, potentially against Hibs, potentially against Hearts, potentially Hamilton or Rangers should we need it, but hopefully we won't. And once we've won the league, we also have the Scottish Cup final against Hearts to play on the final day of the season. First things first, would massively appreciate it if you guys could drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Since you guys were last here, we have played a couple of games, as you can see. You were last here for the loss to Atletico, unfortunately, but since then we have done pretty well, beating Rangers just about 1-0 with Kai Enrique's early goal in that game. We thrashed Celtic 4-0 in the Scottish Cup quarter-final replay, as you can see there, before battering St Johnstone 4-0 in the league. We then got a very narrow win over St Mirren there in the league. Jan Cavalcanti scoring a penalty following Antonio Diaz being sent off for us, so finished that game with only 10 men before winning against St Mirren once again in the Scottish Cup semi-final 6-2, and then drawing 1-1 with Celtic in the first game of the final phase of the league season. So as you can see, there are 4 games left to play this season, and currently we are 7 points clear of Rangers. So if we win today against who are we playing first? I can't remember playing first now. Is it Hibs or Hamilton? I can't remember playing, if I'm honest with you. Hibs first, then Hearts, then Hamilton. Okay, Hibs, Hearts, Hamilton. We can try and remember that one. If we beat Hibs and Rangers don't end up winning their game against Celtic, then we will go on to win the league title. Talking of Rangers, they have done very well. They have got through the Europa Conference League quarter-final and into the semi-finals of the Europa Conference League. They take on Victoria Pleasant for a place in the final, which they should be winning. Whereas Feyenoord from the Netherlands also won their quarter-final, but they play Leicester. So hopefully Leicester do us a favour. Now, I think there might be a chance. If Rangers go on to win the Europa Conference League and Feyenoord end up losing to Leicester, there might just be a chance we overtake them in the European club coefficients. As you can see, the Dutch are currently on 57.2 points, whereas we are on 56.5 points, so a 0.7 difference. I think we might get just a single point or something like that for winning the Europa Conference League, which might put us ahead of the Dutch, but I'm not entirely sure how many points you get, so we'll wait and see and find out today, but fingers crossed it all works out in our favour. Overtaking the Dutch is really important because it means we get an extra place in the Champions League, 2 group stage places and 1 in the final qualifying round. We get 1 group stage place in the Europa League as opposed to 1 qualifying round, and we still get 2 places in the Europa Conference League. But it gives us some extra, basically free coefficient points for having teams automatically in the group stages, and gives those teams a better chance of reaching the later stages. Either way, we have a game against Hibs to get through first and foremost. And we're going to put out what I think is a very strong lineup. We've got Fuentalba in goal with a backline of Pavlik, Admilson, Kai Enrique, and Juan Torres, who, I'll be honest with you, is, I don't know, he's not really improved massively, and the potential is now hugely capped as well. Like, according to our coaches, he's not going to get much better than this. And his average ratings have dipped a little bit in recent years, to the point where I'm thinking maybe actually we need to look for a new right back next season as well as a new left back and right winger. But then I see Harry Winks as well. Harry Winks is, you know, getting on. He's probably the best Mazzala we have, and probably after Tamat Lumper the best centre mid we've got. I mean, they said Nilsson's better, but he's a centre back, Nilsson, not a centre mid. So actually maybe centre mid is an area we need to be looking for as well. So actually, we could have a very busy transfer window with lots of players leaving and lots of players joining, I think. Anyway, talking about midfield, it's Tamat Lumper joining Winks in there, alongside La Cruz, Cavalcanti and Knight in the attacking midfield, with Shaban's 27 goals he scored this season leading the line. Cavalcanti's got 23, so great returns for both of these guys in their first season. So as kickoff is upon us here today, Celtic aren't playing Rangers. I thought Celtic and Rangers were playing each other in this game week. They're not. Although Hamilton have just gone 1-0 up against Rangers. If Rangers fail to win and we win, I think we go on to win the league title, as La Cruz gets his 6th of the season. A fantastic goal for him to take us 1-0 up. and as it stands right now, to win the league title. As you can see, following those goals for Hamilton and for us, there's a 10-point gap between us and Rangers with only 3 games to play after this one. So that would mean we'd go on to win the league title as it stands right now. Hearts also smashing Celtic 2-0, which is pretty decent. I'll be honest, I'd rather not see Rangers lose. I want them to keep winning so they have that form going for the Europa League stuff, or Europa Conference League stuff, as we score another goal there. Was that Caio Henrique with the goal there? No, Admilson with the goal. You love to see it. So right now, it's all working out very well for us. But as I was saying, I do want Rangers to do well because we need those coefficient points. The coefficient points is what we're all about right now, and we want to keep making our way up the rankings. As it stands right now, Rangers have just equalised, so they will be 9 points behind us, which won't be enough still mathematically. So, I mean, come on, Hamilton. Maybe do us a favour, Hamilton. It'd be quite nice if you could. I mean, mathematically, we wouldn't be able to win the title because we could lose all 3 games, for example. They could win all 3 games and go ahead of us. But realistically, I think we've got 20 goals on them in the goal difference. So really, whatever happens, even if they do end up winning and stuff like that, I think we should be pretty safe to win the league title, as Hibs can't score an open goal pretty much. I say an open goal. It was nowhere near an open goal. It was a one-on-one situation. That's what I was trying to say, but open goal came out my mouth instead. As Stevie Mallon on the ball for Hibs is a player that I massively regret not signing. I think we tried to sign him maybe a couple of times or thought about it. And I wouldn't sign him now because he's probably not good enough right now. But for me, I think Stevie Mallon is a superb player. Always gets goals, always does very well. And I would have loved to have had him at some point. As Tamat Lumper's injured, let's get him off for... Apparently we've got no centre mids on the bench. That's stupid of me. Right, Admilson, you move into centre mid. And we'll get Mike Taggart on at centre-back. As we've just scored another goal. You love to see it. Who got this one? It's an own goal. We'll watch it on the replay. Torres' throw into Ben Knight, who sort of kicks it, and it just hits the defender and goes in the back of the net. Come on, Hamilton. Just get a winner. That's all we want to see, and they've done it. They've got a winner. Well, they've got a second goal, as you can see in the bottom left right now. They've scored a goal in the 79th minute. So as it stands right now, as Cavalcanti's shot hits the post and goes out for a goal kick. As it stands right now, we are winning the league title, which is fantastic. Winning it 3 games early as well. Absolutely decimating the competition of Rangers and Celtic, who again have actually had quite poor seasons. They've not done as well as they would usually do, as was the case last year as Ben Knight grabs his 7th of the season to round off a beautiful 4-0 victory in front of the home fans. They're all listening on their radios or whatever we're using. Is it 2027? It is 2027, whatever they use in 2027 to find out the scores. They're listening in on that to see what's going on in the Rangers game, to find out if we are going to win the league title. We are winning the league title. Hamilton did their job, and we've only gone and won another Streamer Showdown, which again I've not taken off because I forget about it every single time. But congratulations to us for winning the Scottish Premiership for a second successive season, back-to-back titles, and our 3rd league title as well. I think we can safely say now, in my opinion, we are the best team in Scotland. Conclusively, I would say now. Oh, I've also got the achievement Domination. What's this Domination achievement? You've won 3 consecutive top division league titles, but we haven't. We've won 3 titles, but not consecutively. We've won 2 in a row, but Celtic won 1 in between our 1st and 2nd titles. So that achievement seems a little bit bugged out to me. But a great win there for us, winning the league. Plus 70 goal difference is mental as well. And I think what yeah, it's up here, I can see it. Board set initial budgets for next season. Now, we need to know, I'd like to have like 50 million. I don't think we're going to get 50 million. Lumper's injured for a few days. That's nothing to worry about too much. Obviously qualified for the Champions League by winning the Scottish Premiership. The budget, though. This is what we need, a big budget. Because if we're going to meet some release fee clauses this summer, we need a lot of money. And the initial budget, 33 million. I mean, that's literally what it was before that game kicked off. It's not changed. We had 33 million in January. We've got 47 million in the bank. Well, it's not ideal. we've got a lot of money in the wage budget, but we can't actually adjust much of it. We can put it up to 42, but that's it. Like it's not ideal. I can ask the board to increase the transfer budget. They're going to get back to me on that one. Fingers crossed they say yes. I'd love to have more money to be spending, but I don't know if they'll give it to me or not. The board have rejected it as well. Let's discuss the issue with the board. I'd like more money so we don't go backwards, and they still say request denied. We'll work on it. We will work on it. However, it might mean we can't get that guy from Porto that we want. And it might mean we have to sell a couple players. Does Caio Henrique want to talk contracts again, by the way? He does. Right. We need to get Caio Henrique tied down on a new contract. Star player is fine. Oh, hang on. Big wage rise. He's not accepting the promise. So big wage rise is fine. He still doesn't like that. We need to improve the centre midfield. That's also what he wanted. Will improve. No, not that one. Add promise. Will improve. Oh, centre mids he wanted. He wanted centre mids, he said. Suggest. Okay. And he's still locking. There's no point. There's no point giving him a new contract at the moment when he doesn't want to talk. We just can't get rid of this release fee clause. This is the only annoying thing about Caio Henrique's agent is that he just always locks in a release fee clause. Can we get him to sack his agent somehow? Discuss. Warn player. I don't think there's any way you can actually do it without... Get rid of your agent, please. Let's see what he wants first and foremost, because it might just put clubs off signing him, basically. So let's... Why can I not ask my assistant manager to do this for me? Use existing contracts, but then put this up to... We'll give you 35. 35 grand a week. He wants 48. And I'm happy to pay him that. I'm happy to pay him that. 100%. It just... If he signs a new contract, it might just put clubs off trying to sign him in summer. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. If we can bring it down to like 40 grand... The release fee clause is still in there, which is just so frustrating. 43 and a half. He wants 53 grand now. Why is that? 46. All right, 53. I will give it to you, Caio, because you are literally one of the greatest players I've ever had in Football Manager, I think. I'm happy to give you the money. It's just that release fee clause is so frustrating. But when he signs it, other clubs should be put off trying to sign him for at least 6 months, I think. That's usually how it works. And that's kind of what I've been doing since he signed. Keep giving him a new contract every 6 months. But that is a big one. I reckon he's worth it, though. I reckon he's worth it. Juan Torres is wanted, though. As is Pavlik. As is Fuentalba, who actually I don't really want to sell. Ben Knight has got bids on the table, has he? From Al Ain of 7.25 million. I have not seen this before. I mean, I might have done, but I might have just ignored it. It's not big enough. It's not big enough. We're going to reject it, but I would be tempted to maybe listen to offers for Ben Knight. I mean, actually, most of our players are wanted by looks of things. Most of them are. And a player like Suva, it might be time to let him go, actually. And maybe a Diaz. It might be time to let a Diaz go as well, who's not really done too much since joining us for 4 million. But if we can sell him for a lot of money... Look, I'm forward thinking for the transfer window, but it's going to be difficult. Anyway, we're going to come back on the 28th because the 28th is the Rangers game in the Europa Conference League. So very excited about that one. Fingers crossed that all works out nicely for us. So Rangers are about to play their game, but in the Champions League, Liverpool versus Bayern, Man City versus Atletico, who knocked us out. This is the semi-finals, and the winners of that are going to be... I'm going to say draws all round. That's what I'm going to say. In the Europa League, Lazio beat Juventus and Sevilla and Valencia draw. The big one, though, the Europa Conference League. Rangers 1-0 in the 90th minute. A nice away goal there. Leicester beat Feyenoord 3-0. So there's a second leg to come of this. The second leg is on the 5th. Right. I will see you on the 5th. because there's no point in doing any more league games because we've won the league. So we'll go through to the 5th to find out if Rangers get to the final. If they do, then great. But the next game we're going to watch is the Scottish Cup final against Hearts. Right, semi-final second leg time. I don't really care who wins out of all of this, if I'm honest with you, because it doesn't really affect us that much. But obviously, we need Rangers to do well. And Atletico, who beat us, go through to the final. So maybe I feel a little bit more justified in losing to Atletico. In the Europa League, Juventus pull it back to go through. Valencia go through as well. Rangers are through, as are Leicester. So Feyenoord knocked out. It's a Rangers v Leicester final. When is that final? On the 26th. Our final's on the 22nd. Right. That's exciting. We're going to hopefully see Rangers lift a Europa Conference League. What does that do, though, for the coefficient points? We are now on 57.3, whereas the Dutch are on 57.6. So if we win the Conference League, we'll go into 6th place. Rangers, it's all on you. It's all on you, Rangers. So here we are, back for the Cup final against Hearts, as you can see. This should be a pretty exciting game, and fingers crossed we get a nice victory as well, as the relegation playoff second leg is going on between Dundee and Inverness. I would rather see Inverness win that because they've got a fantastic name, and I quite like their name. I should also say as well, actually, if we go back, we played the 3 games, obviously off camera, drew 0-0 with Hearts, drew 0-0, or 1-1 with Rangers, sorry, but beat Hamilton 2-1, as you can see. We did rotate lineups a little bit and just try a couple different things, because why not? But for the Cup final, of course, we're going to put out the very strongest lineup we have, with Bazunu in goal, Pavlik, Admilson, Kai Enrique and Torres in the back line, Ferguson and Tamat Lumper in the middle, Diaz, Cavalcanti and Knight in the attacking midfield, because whereas La Cruz on international duty right now with the Spain under-20s, and then Shaban leading the line. So as kickoff is upon us, can we win our second trophy of the evening? Fingers crossed that we can, to make it a double this season. What I will say though is that this season we've not done as well as last season. We started off talking about the league. Last season we got 99 points. This season only 93. So a little step back in the league. The Champions League last season, quarterfinals. This season only the first knockout round, to a step back there. Last season, Scottish Cup, we lost the final to Celtic. We're in the final again, which is kind of a minimum expectation. So I guess we have leveled things up there. If we can win this game, if there's even any highlights, finally a highlight as I say that, Pavlik in towards Diaz, out to Tamat Lumper. Nothing really coming from that one right now, but Torres on the ball into Tamat Lumper to Ben Knight to McLumper to Ferguson out to Torres to swing this one into the middle. At some point he does get it to Ferguson to Ben Knight, who hits the crossbar, and that's the only highlight of the first half. So half-time, 0-0, not a great first half there, but at least we are on top of things, supposedly. And going back to what we were talking about before, the Betfred Cup, we got knocked out earlier than we did last season. So actually, across everything, unless we win this, but it doesn't really make much of a difference in my opinion, we have regressed a little bit, which is obviously not what you want to see, but at least we are still winning silverware. I think we have progressed as a team and a squad since then. We've got a better strike force than we did last season. We just haven't really put it to use by getting into the later stages. We need to massively upgrade the team, I think. I think actually both wing-back positions need an upgrade. Centre-mid certainly needs an upgrade alongside Tam McLumper. And we certainly need to improve the right wing a little bit. Ben Knight, not quite the product that he used to be. As, with only 10 minutes to go in this game, Shaban looks to come forward across to Jan Cavalcanti, who scores the goal to hopefully give us the Scottish Cup title. You love to see it. 12 minutes to go. Let's make a couple of changes out there. Diaz off for Jez Finley. Harry Storm on up front. And let's also bring on Brian Portier for what maybe even could be his final final appearance for the club, because he might end up going this summer as well. This has been a really boring game in terms of highlights. This is only the third highlight of the game, and it's the 80th minute. We've had 22 shots. I've looked at the match stats just before this highlight started. 22 shots we've had, and Harry Storm puts another one in the back of the net, scoring in a cup final for his 7th of the season. You love to see it. 23 shots now to Hearts' 1 shot, so we have absolutely dominated it. The scoreline doesn't quite give that quite so much credit. As Admilson picks the ball up at the back. Are the floodgates about to open now that we've scored a goal late on in this game? As Portier now looks to bring the ball forward to Jez Finley. Jez Finley cuts inside nicely and has plenty of time to find a pass to Harry Storm, not quite getting to its intended target. But another chance for us now with Jan Cavalcanti on the edge of the area and nearly goes through to score. Luckily though, that is going to be enough for us as the clock ticks down. Hearts 0, Aberdeen 2. Another trophy to add to the trophy cabinet. Another Streamer Showdown title as well. You love to see it. But deja vu. More trophy lifting for us. We really are the best team in Scotland. We just have to start proving it in Europe, because Celtic have proven it in Europe. They won a Europa League. Rangers might be about to win a Europa Conference League. It'll be just us who haven't won a European title of some sorts. And obviously, a Scottish club has won a Europa League and hopefully Europa Conference League. There's only a Champions League to go. Hopefully, that'll be for us. Inverness also ended up beating Dundee, as you can see, scoring a goal in the 91st minute to keep their Scottish Premiership status. And apparently we are set to launch a £45.5 million bid for Paco Garcia. Not that much money, I'd hope. I'd hope we can get him for a little bit cheaper than that, but I'm still liking the look of him, and I still think he'd be a great player to bring in. Of course, we'll talk more about that in tomorrow's episode for the transfer special. That is going to be very exciting. I think a lot of movement is going to be going on in the transfer special. So a quick little season review at the end of the season. The two new signings that we brought in have played phenomenally well, scoring 28 and 24 goals respectively. Shaban playing a lot more games as well, or starting a lot more games, I should say. Cavalcanti coming off the bench a few more times, but really good returns from those guys. Very, very pleased. And the value for money we've got from Shaban is absolutely incredible. You can see that we have top the league table as well, which is great. Fantastic stuff. Average home attendance is almost 25,000. I wonder if we'll get an update on the new stadium at some point. That'll be interesting to find out. In terms of revenues, though, we have dropped in revenues massively in the Champions League, thanks to not getting through to the Champions League quarter-finals as we did last season. But broadcast revenue is down by like 2 million as well, which is a little bit of a worry. So actually, we have not made as much money this season, which is a little concerning, although we didn't quite spend as much, and of course we sold a few players as well, which kind of made up for those loss of revenue, I would say. Really good season for most of our players, but as you can see, like the left back and right backs are not playing particularly well, so we do need to improve on those a little bit. Of course, fans' player of the season is Kai Enrique, who has signed his new contract that happened in between the two games being played today, which is great to see. And then, of course, 2 trophies to finish the season off is superb. If we do look at the contracts, there's 2 players who have got 12 months left on their contracts. Ben Knight and Jose Antonio Diaz, both of whom are wanted. I think it might be time to let them both go. But again, we will talk more about that one tomorrow. It's just such a shame that Ben Knight never made that £40 million transfer to Genoa. Maybe Genoa put another £40 million in for Jose Antonio Diaz, but if you remember back like 3, 4, 5 seasons ago, I can't remember how long ago it was to be fair, Genoa put a £40 million in for Ben Knight, which we accepted. He just rejected the contract. We have been hit with a tax bill. Apparently we're going to pay £5 million in tax and making £24 million worth of profit. Commercial summary, we do have a new sponsor apparently. Let's have a look at the finances then. So, it has dropped down a little bit. We were at like 40 million. Why has it gone down to 30? What have we suddenly paid loads of money on? Expenditure this month is 62 million. What have we spent 62 million? We spent, ground maintenance 56 million. You can't see which is behind me. Does that suggest, new stadium plans? Right. The Aberdeen board have announced that there's a new stadium going to cost 56 million. And 56 million has come out of our bank account for that. A loan of £33 million is there to help finance the stadium. So maybe this was why they didn't want to give us some new transfer budget. It's going to take 3 years to complete. It'll be 33,000 seats. And it bloody well better be named after me. It better be. I better be a legend here. Oh no, it's not named after me. It's just called the Aberdeen Stadium. Oh, name it after me. Seriously. I mean, I've done all of this for the club. You hate to see it. And apparently we've only made £5 million by selling our new stadium that was only built in, when was this built? The Kingsford Stadium? Doesn't say there. But we only moved into it like 2 or 3 seasons ago. So you'd think we'd get more for it than that. I better be a legend at the club. I'm a legend. You love to see it. I am a legend. I would be very upset if I wasn't a legend at the club. Kevin Nisbet is an icon, interestingly. How's it at Hull this season? Abysmally. 1 goal in 10 games. It's probably, actually, very good value for money for us, selling him for £10 million there. Ben Knight and Kai Enrique are on the favoured personnel. But I'm a legend, which is fantastic. So why not name the new stadium after me, a legend? It's also now the 26th of May, which means it is the Europa Conference League final day. Come on, Rangers. Do it for us. Right, let's have a look. It's now it's 11 o'clock on the 26th. So the game should have been played right now. In the Europa League, Juventus beat Valencia. Come on, Rangers. Come on, Rangers. They've done it. They've actually done it. Rangers 2, Leicester 1. I mean, I shouldn't be celebrating too much because they're our rivals. But it should mean lots of coefficient points for us there. What went on in that game? A Robin Koch own goal and then a Ryan Kent goal later on in the game after Leicester went 1-0 up. So unlucky Leicester, but great result there for Rangers. Up the R's, or whatever they're called. Right, how is that done for the coefficient points? Europe, Nation Club coefficients. The Dutch, we've only gone and done it. The Dutch are on 57.6, but we're on 57.9 with that. So we will go ahead of the Dutch into 6th place. And we will be getting 3 Champions League places next season, which is phenomenal. However, that battle is going to be so close because we still need to do better than the Dutch next season to keep hold of 6th place. They next season have got these 3 Champions League places and the 1 group stage place and the 2 Europa League places, right? That's what they have. We need to make sure with our current 2 teams, 1 team and 2 teams, we do better than all the Dutch teams to hold on to 6th place. That's what's most important because they've just moved into that for this season. They still had the 1-1-1-1. They still basically have the 7th place stuff, didn't they? They're only going to get the 3 teams in the Champions League this season. This coming season, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be really hard to hold on to 6th place, but we're going to give it a go. Because Rangers won that though, what does that mean for like our teams in Europe next season? So we're in the Champions League, so are Rangers. Celtic should be straight into the group stages of the Europa League. And then I think Hearts and Hamilton must be, I think Hearts go straight through to the group stage of the Europa Conference League. And Hamilton in the qualifying rounds, I believe, maybe. Oh, it's going to be exciting next season. It's going to be very, very exciting. So, thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.